Excuse me. Okay, so we're live. Good evening. My name is Craig Clark, and I'm the Executive Director of the Allegheny County Industrial Development Agency in connection with the project which is the subject of this public hearing. Today, I'm holding the public hearing to allow citizens to make a statement for the record relating to the involvement of the agency with the project for the benefit of Tasty Deluxe Foods, LLC, Millennium General Contractors of New York Limited Liability Company. The proposed project consists of the following: the acquisition of an interest in approximately 1 acre of land located at 4393 River Street, tax map number 212.6-1-3 in the town of SCIO, Allegheny County, New York, together with an approximately 21,261 square foot building located on the site. The renovation of the facility and the acquisition and installation thereof of certain machinery and equipment of all the foregoing to constitute a food processing facility. The granting of certain financial assistance with respect to the foregoing, including potential exemptions from certain sales and use tax, real estate property taxes, and real estate transfer taxes and mortgage recording taxes. The lease with obligation to purchase or sale of the project facility to the company or such other person as may be designated by the company and agreed upon by the agency. I intend to provide general information of the agency's general authority and the public purpose to provide assistance to the proposed project. I'll then open the comment period to receive comments from all present who wish to comment on either the proposed project or the financial assistance contemplated by the agency. However, before discussing the general information and opening the hearing for public comments, I'd like to first describe some of the details regarding the financial assistance as outlined in the application. The estimated value of sales tax exemption will be $122,655. The estimated value of real property tax exemption will be $218,326. That's over the 10-year period of the pilot. The provisions of Chapter 1030 of the laws of 1969 of New York, consisting of Title I, Article 18A of the General Municipal Law, Chapter 24 of the Consolidated Laws of New York as amended, and Chapter 99 of the 1973 laws of the state of New York as amended, codified as Section 906A of said General Municipal Law, authorize the agency to promote, develop, encourage, and assist in acquiring, constructing, reconstructing, improving, maintaining, and equipping and finishing of manufacturing, warehouse, research, commercial, industrial facilities, among others. Pursuant to Section 859A(2) of the General Municipal Law of the State of New York, prior to the agency providing any financial assistance of more than $100,000 to any project, the agency must, among other things, must hold a public hearing pursuant to Section 859A of the Act with respect to said project. Since the proposed project financial assistance provided by the agency who provide the proposed project may exceed $100,000, and prior to providing any financial assistance to the proposed project, the agency must hold a public hearing on the nature and location of the project, facility, and proposed financial assistance provided by the agency with respect to the proposed project. After consideration of the application received from the company, the members of the agency adopted a resolution on December 11th, 2025, authorizing the executive director of the agency to conduct this public hearing with respect to the proposed project pursuant to Section 859A of the Act. The executive director of the agency caused notice of this public hearing to be mailed on December 24th, 2025 to the chief executive officers of Allegheny County, town of SCIO, and the SCIO Central School District, and published on December 27th, 2025 in the Olean Times-Herald newspaper and general circulation, available to the residents of town of SCIO, Allegheny County, New York. In addition, the executive director of the agency caused a public hearing to be posted on December 22nd, 2025 on the agency's website on a bulletin board located in SCIO Town Hall, located at 43355 County Road 10 in the town of SCIO, Allegheny County, New York, on December 29th, 2025. Per the executive director of the agency, also caused a public hearing resolution to be mailed to the affected taxing jurisdiction on December 23rd, 2025. Copies of the notice of the public hearing are available on the table. And now, unless there's any objection, I'm going to suggest waiving the full reading of the notice of the public hearing, which is really everything I just read, unless you want me to read it again. And instead, request that the full text of this public hearing be inserted into the record of the public hearing. The comments received today at the public hearing will be presented to the members of the agency at or prior to the meeting at which the prior Members of the agency will consider whether to approve the undertaking of the proposed project by the agency and granting by the agency of any financial assistance in excess of $100,000 with respect to the project. Notice of public hearing also indicated that written comments could be addressed to Craig R. Clark, Executive Director of the agency, and no written comments have been received by the agency prior to this public hearing. We have Javad Saeed, owner of the company, who's here tonight to answer any questions as well when we get to the question point and we'll do the public comment. And I'll open the public hearing for the public comment at, I think I looked at my phone because everything else is wrong in the room, 6:36. By the way of operating rules, I wish you make a public comment. Please raise your hand or acknowledge somehow, and I'll call on you. And please wait to be recognized because we have to have a transcription. And also let me know who you are at the same time so we can record who the comment is from, if that's okay. When everyone has had an opportunity to speak, I'll conclude the public hearing. Record of this public hearing will be prepared and reviewed by the members of the agency in connection with the agency's consideration of the proposed project. Again, the purpose of the public hearing is to solicit public comment. We're not here to answer questions, although we will. However, we'll, in the course of the answer some questions if we have the information to answer the questions, or Saeed does, and there's sufficient time to consider such questions. I will now ask if there are anyone in attendance who wishes to comment on either on the nature of the location of the public facility, project facility, or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated. And like I said, for the record, please state your name and let me know what the question is so we can record it. Do you want to do a short summary of the project, Melissa?
I can.
I want you to do that. You've worked with Saeed pretty closely.
I'm Melissa Penflor. I'm Craig's Assistant Director, and I've been working with Saeed and Stacy Deluxe, doing business as Millennium, to bring this project to the old Hydromet facilities, probably how many of you know it. And Javed plans to bring his business into the United States from Canada, and so he's moving here to put the business in SCIO to start with 1 or 2 food packaging and processing lines, which will be wholesale, not to consumer, but to grocery stores and Javed can answer anything else that you have. And so just as a high level profile, it will start out with 4 or 5 people in the first line, and then the goal is to, depending on, like every business, supply and demand, add 2 to 4 more lines over the ensuing 3 years until he's up to between 4 and 6 food processing lines, food packaging lines, and then according to Javed today, I will quote him, the sky's the limit after that. So that will depend on how good business is, right, and how well things are going and how well he does in terms of workforce development and everything here. So we're excited to hopefully get this moving and get it done, because it would be nice to have, I'm sure you all agree, an operating manufacturing plant back in the building. So that's up to you to comment on. Is that what you were sort of?
Yeah, that's all I'm looking at, just a general summary. So it is wholesale, it's not retail, so it'll be sold in supermarkets across the region. And he said 90% of his sales right now is in the U.S., and that's why he's coming to the U.S., because he wants to manufacture in the U.S.
Right, even from Canada, his Canada facility, 90% of his sales were U.S. grocery stores, right? Is that fair? Okay. So if you have questions, if you want to just raise your hand, and we'll be happy to call on you.
Okay.
Randy Marsden. Who owns the property now?
Mr. Saeed's company owns the property. They closed on the deed about a month ago. On 11/18, that was the closing date directly from the county. I think,
Yeah, so it was
right?
on a tax sale.
County at tax sale.
And as long as I'm still talking about it.
Sure, go ahead.
The financing that the IDA does, is this like a mortgage, or is it?
No,
There's no mortgage on the
no, there's no mortgage on the property.
So
Also,
where does the IDA come in?
we come in when the IDA gives what they call financial assistance. We help by giving the incentives are that we help the exemption on sales tax when they buy things, not when they sell things, but when they buy things to improve the property, they get a sales tax exemption. And for the first 5 years, they won't pay any any property taxes, but it ramps up after the 10-year, they'll be paying full property taxes. So that's the benefits that we give. We're not in the mortgage business.
No, I understand that.
And we do give mortgage tax abatement on some projects, but this particular project does not require that.
By eliminating sales tax, maybe, is it still being paid by you, or is it?
No,
No.
so, and the sales tax
I
is
don't
only for the,
understand
that's
how-
okay,
how
the
the idea
sales
is-
tax is only for the period, sales tax exemption is only for the period and the process during which Mr. Said's company is outfitting
It's
the,
only during the construction or whatever phase you're doing in the building. So it's on the property or the materials that they're buying to fix the building. That's all that gets.
I get all
and then
that.
after that, it goes away, and it doesn't ever get, right? So they're tax exempt to be able to bring the business to New York and put everything in place to start the business, and then it goes away.
Forgive me for my ignorance.
No.
But are you the government agency that is able to lower the sales tax?
We're a public
Why do you-
agency.
Why do you go through,
Yeah.
why do they go through you instead of just going through the local?
That's what
Municipality.
that's what an IDA is designed for.
An IDA is designed to give those exemptions that we just said to attract or allow companies to expand, and we give those benefits. And by doing that, excuse me, we actually incentivize them to do the things that they want to do.
I understand the whole incentive thing, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I just don't get. how-
We're a quasi-governmental agency, and we have the authority to do that.
So I think it will help you to understand that what we are is officially a federal 501c3. And a 501c3 is a charitable organization.
We're not a 501c3.
501c, what are we, sorry?
We're quasi-governmental. We have a different benefit. We're
Oh,
not a
that's our
501.
LDC and our ACC.
LDC,
Okay,
yeah.
that's my bad. I've started in the summer this year, so you'll have to, this is my second rodeo on this. But anyway, so because we're
So we're-
quasi-government public
right.
agency, we're allowed to do that.
Okay.
We're public authority is what we really are called.
Say they have a tax exemption for so many years.
Well, it's during only that phase when they're fixing the building up.
Okay.
Right, it's
Nothing
not a
after
time
that,
frame,
after
right.
that.
Nothing, they have to pay, in other words, after he's fixed up the building and got all the materials in there, then the sales tax exemption goes away.
What about property tax?
As I said, the property tax, the pilots that we typically give are 5 years, no property tax, and they ramp it up over the next 5 years. In the 10th year, they'll start paying full property tax.
Is there penalties for it if they decide to pull out early?
If they pull out early, we can actually get the money back that they should have paid, yes.
That's part of the fund. It's called the fund.
It's a clawback, yes, that's a requirement.
Is that right?
That's fine. We've never done a pilot in SCIO, and I've no problem with answering those questions. That's fine. Yes.
Ted Carlin. So with the taxes, will the company be paying school taxes?
That's
No.
the same schedule,
It's
0 to 5.
Property taxes are all taxes.
All taxes.
Okay. And so what is the town getting in return for the company not? I know it's a great thing for the town. I think it's a great thing for the town.
Well-
But what is the town getting in return? My thought is, for example, employment.
Well, they do get
A
employment.
reassurance that people are going to be hired from the town quite possibly.
Well, he's going to hire mostly, obviously, they're going to be all local. It depends on where the people come from, but most of them in this case would be from the area, yes, from the town,
The
yes.
entire production line is expected to be local workforce.
Right.
That's one of the reasons that this company chose Allegheny County, in this facility. And Liz, you can say it yourself if you want, but because they expected there would be a ready local workforce willing to do kind of production line type work.
So the reason we do these incentives is so that there are more jobs creation and people have jobs. And obviously, in this case, they're going to expand over after the big initial phase. And so the benefit to the town are the jobs, yes.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing for the town. What is the problem? Is it cookies or something?
Food products, there is no limit, but currently we are doing bakeries, breads, cookies, and
The granola bar type thing.
bar.
Okay, so breads, cookies, granola bar, kind of,
4 or 5 times
okay,
we are doing, and then we can expand if there is a demand.
yeah.
But it will be all bakery products,
Yes, our food products,
food products, all food
food
products.
products for the human consumption.
And it's just gonna be wholesale? This is
Yes.
the way-
We are going to produce it, and we have a distribution network, and we are sending them in the wholesale, and they are going to distribute the local grocery stores everywhere.
Yeah, I got you.
Glenn?
Glenn Layfield, Councilman, you talked about after 5 years that then ramp up.
Right.
Is that, so it's on a graduated scale, you didn't know what the breakdown?
Yeah, it's like, well, it's 5 years, so it's 20% per year.
20, 40,
It's 20% per year, and so
Equal.
yeah, it's equal 20, 40, 60, 80, yeah.
And what about exemptions for like, are there like taxes on utilities or anything like that? Is that included in?
This is only property
Only
taxes.
property.
Kelly Carlin. So my question is, I was in California for a long time, Amazon, Home Depot,
Right.
all the big corporations out there. They would bring people in and everybody worked part-time, so there was no health care. Are the positions, Mr. Said, that you're talking about, are they full-time positions that will offer health care to the employees?
Yes, we are going to hire from the local communities, most of the workers, because only the few workers at the management, like management, vice management, or the engineers, they will be there. But 90% will be local and full job workers.
At full-time.
Most of them are full-time. There will be some part-time work, but most of them are full-time,
Right,
yes.
okay.
The
Then
majority.
we are going to have the program from the students and the others. We can bring them to the family and take them.
I know your
Set up a
concern.
training program to,
Internships, that's what
whether with OTs or Alfred State or local organizations to train the workers on the line and skill them.
Yeah, the application, when you get running all the lines, it'd be, he's estimating 20 full-time and 10 part-time.
So 25 full-time equivalent positions, or 20 straight, and with benefits as part of the business plan and everything's in there. So yes, it's a great question.
Name again, sorry.
Randy Martin.
Yeah, thank you.
How many lines can you put in that building? You said 1, 4, 5.
Start from the one, and gradually we are going to have the 4 initially, and then we have one shift, and then we have slide, and then man, then we have double shift, and maybe fourth one.
So I guess his question though is how many lines can you anticipate putting in that space?
4 lines.
But no, how many could you expand to?
Within that building?
Actually, walking foods, there are the demand that we have in home, certain development, and we are always working on the products, food products. It is in demand in the market. So we are going to have the same recipes, same thing as a copy of it.
So you think
And on our side,
4 lines will meet all your needs based on what you do now?
the bread, samosa, cookies, and there are the rusks. that we have.
I just want to make sure we answer his question. I think more interesting is, can you anticipate, could you fit 15, 20 lines? Do you ever see it getting that big, or do you think it will be 4 to 10 fully operational at some point?
Actually,
Is that fair what you're asking?
Basically, how many lines will the building hold?
Right?
we need 6 people in one hand. And then there are 4 lines of business, then it will be 24, and then add on.
For shifts?
Yeah.
But you won't ever have more than 4 lines, just more shifts?
No, we have a lot of space. So we are going to look at the products and the supplies and the market.
So he hasn't determined how many he could put in yet. Glenn?
Yeah, Glenn Layfield. Yeah, so are you saying that you have space to expand to more lines, but you don't know how much space each line will take up as you expand products?
That is actually the architecture job and the
Okay.
engineer's job. They are going to have the drawing. And according to that, we are going to do the job.
Mine's really just a.
Your name?
Robert Harms. Mine's really just a general comment. I want to thank you for coming and actually working at the town of SCIO, giving us that opportunity to maybe expand something big. I really think that it would benefit the town of SCIO and the community and possibly, elevate the town. I believe something like this might bring other businesses to our area.
And thank you to everyone and all the whole community. And we are going to we have intention to support activity in local communities to grow and to help them find better jobs and all these.
What kind of, sorry.
Go ahead.
What kind of a time frame are we looking at for when you'd be up and running?
Actually, we are working with the departments as they require, and we are, from our end, we are in hurry to do as soon as possible, but as the system allow us to do.
I mean, he's hopeful to really even get it shovel, get that building started being renovated this summer if we can get everything together. So that's, his time frame is pretty short.
You know, this is New York.
Yeah, so that's why he's being very cautious in his answer, but that's his hope.
Yeah, his goal is to operate this year, yes.
We have to actually be in operation with the line by this year, at some point. So it's pretty quick.
Mark Matson. I was wondering how many employees you have in Canada and how long have you been in business?
We initially we had 12, and then it was that could be 24/5 at the end of the operation, and then due to the tariffs and all these problems, we shut down there and we moved here to here. So 25 is the minimum for the 4 lines.
So about the same operation in
Yes,
Canada.
operation.
And how often?
How long were you operating in Canada?
Since 2003.
And they're going to get shut.
Pardon?
When did you shut down?
Prior to the tariffs and the companies went up,
So a couple
the
of years.
prices went up, and the rest went gone up. So,
Is there a way that we can keep updated on where you're currently at or what you're currently doing next? Is there some sort of Facebook page or other source of communication that we can be updated on where you're at? The equipment is in, we're starting to hire. Where do we, is there a place that we could get that information?
How will people know where you're at with the project?
we can advertise, we can connect the community.
We'll make sure that he gets connected through Glenn or whoever so that the community does know what's going on. I know what you're saying, updates. Could you all of a sudden, we have this one meeting and then you don't hear anything for a year.
You just see a little activity here and there.
We'll make sure that
Right,
happens.
and it could be helpful to him.
Sure.
to read as well.
But I think the better way to do that is through Glenn and the town versus,
Here's the kind of-
yeah, no, I know, but we'll do that through Glenn and the town and we'll work with, Melissa will work with them, okay? So that the town knows. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That makes the most sense to me to give updates. But we'll give you updates.
Robert in the town.
Well, whatever. Okay, Rob.
It's on you, Glenn.
I tried. Robert, okay.
Yeah, Robert. Glenn.
Sorry. The town anyways, how's that? Yes.
Kathy Dawson. So I wonder, will you close your Canadian facility and what makes the United States more favorable?
They already closed the facility and the reason they're here is because of the tariffs.
And also property value. up there.
Property
They can't
value.
really
Cost of
afford it.
operation is
Yeah.
more expensive up there.
They can't afford a 20,000 square foot operation. It's just-
We've had that discussion with them,
Yeah,
so.
they can't
So
capital.
will you bring your equipment here from that operation?
No, we are going to have the grant.
And I also wonder where does the money come for the financial assistance? From taxpayers, from the county, from,
Well, we give no money to anybody.
what is the financial assistance? Just
The
sales
two,
tax?
the two things we mentioned, sales tax and property taxes, yes. So it's money that you wouldn't have had anyways because that was already off
Yeah, it's
the,
already been
For
sold.
5,
Sorry.
6 years. Yeah.
I mean, you weren't making any money, so basically you're not losing much at this stage because it was already on the tax sale.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Joe Fensky. I'm just kind of curious, are you aware of the past of that building and what it was used for before?
We have been very clearly, he knows exactly, and he's been through the building. We've told him
Have you done
exactly.
an environmental assessment?
You did it today.
Yeah.
I was there.
You did it in one day?
At one,
It's
No,
an
phase
initial.
one.
It's an initial, for sure. It's just the first.
Just so you know, the first issue I had was what you're just asking.
Understandable.
He has been talking and put them in place with Ag and Markets. And Ag and Markets is working with them to make sure that everything is up to snuff, and they will only pass food production if the inside of that building is up to food grade.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm just telling you that.
Many toxic chemicals in that building.
Right.
over the years.
I know, but he's been working with Ag and Markets, so.
Just because you asked, and it's actually sort of interesting, one of the things we found, two things. There will be no earth disturbed, right? He's using the existing structure as is, so he'll be renovating the interior of the structure. As Craig said, we hooked him up with Ag and Markets, and he knows, and he already knew most of it, anyhow, what their requirements were. They have to seal the concrete, this and that. There are a lot of things they have to do to be appropriate to the task that they're planning for that building. And because they're not disturbing the ground or constructing outside, because this is a former DEC site, it's still listed as a level 4. And so there's certain things you can't do there. You certainly can never put a playground on the hydromex site, right? There are very specific restrictions. But Ag and Markets did give us a very specific path forward to make sure and let us know that it was absolutely doable if you do this, and this, and they were not intense things that we were expecting. So, it's a great question.
Did they do? in the building?
That part of so the phase 1 is a visual and photographic inspection. And I will tell you today, as they expected, they really think there's some asbestos tile and things in there that will have to be remediated. And so those will have to be tested to make sure that they're removed safely. So that's all part of that environmental. And the nice thing for us is that the IDA actually currently has an EPA grant to cover at least the
Cleanup?
no, we can't cover any sort of cleanup, that's on Mr. Saeed's company, but we can, at the moment, pay for the assessments to make sure that he understands what needs to be cleaned.
Who's doing the assessment?
It's HRP is our environmental engineering group. They're called HRP. I can't remember what that stands for, I'm sorry. But you can find them. HRP is a very popular and well-known environmental engineering firm in this area.
Have they given you a timeline on when they will have the information back to you?
2 weeks on the first assessment. And there's no physical testing at this time. Physical testing would be the second phase, and we haven't got to there, whether that's necessary or anything yet. But the first report will be in 2 weeks.
And is Mr. Saeed prepared for what may come about in that testing?
Actually, we are waiting for the assessment. So after that, we have to take action.
To be submitted?
Yeah, that was one of the first things that the IDA really kind of pressed Javed and his team on is, do you know what was there before? Do you know what it might take to put food processing in there? And that's why one of the first things we did was have them talk to Ag and Markets and make sure that was actually even doable. It's a great question. The good news is we're fairly certain yes. Yes.
I worked 10 years there, I know exactly what the shoes are.
There are still probably,
Yeah.
there are hundreds of.
And I've been in there a number of times. We know that.
I was the heat treater. I
Sure.
worked in that one room,
Right.
Oh, did you?
all that stuff.
Sure.
The heat treater's still there.
I was wondering, like, wow,
It's-
now we know where the bread's coming from.
We'll just throw some lye in there and turn the heat treater on. It'll be great.
Yes.
Two quick questions. The contract.
Name again, just so we go with
Randy-
that.
Randy Martin.
Sorry.
The contractor that's doing the work, is that local?
We prefer the local. And if there is not availability of the kind of sort of work, then we are going to ask somebody else. Otherwise, we prefer the local. Like for example, the CPA. I have CPA, but today I had a meeting after the assessment. We went to the local tax and CPA elsewhere.
What?
So we are going to contact the locals first.
We're working with him to give him names of local contractors and obviously local banks. So he's interested in working all with local companies,
So
yes.
you did say in that paperwork that you named the contractor, right? That it was-
No,
No, I don't think there's.
we don't know, they don't know who the contractor is yet. No.
But he does have a local CPA, a local bank, a local lawyer. All of his team has been local up to this point. And the point is that's the goal is to hire. It's a lot cheaper to hire local too, so.
And because I'm not a lawyer and I don't understand all the language, it led me to believe that the IDA would own the property
Well,
and lease it back.
What happens, we don't own it, we have to be in the chain of title so we could do the clawbacks like we talked about. So basically, he leases it us, we lease it back to him. So we're in the chain of title. So if something happens, we can actually get our money back.
That's required so that if there's a.
And that's how we can actually give the benefits, because we have to be in the chain of title. But we don't own the building. He owns the building.
On your pilot.
Sorry, say your name for us.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Joe Fenske. Does he have to file a bond or anything in case there is clawback?
No,
No?
No.
Okay. So if he were to go belly up, not, I wish not on anybody, but if he were to go belly up, how would you get your money back?
it's just like with anything, we'd have to go to court.
Yeah, it would be a legal process.
We have done that before, if that's what you're asking.
But very rarely.
We've never had of anybody because they went belly up.
Right.
We've had to go to court for other reasons, but not because of belly up.
Were you successful?
Yes.
How many, sorry, again, Joe Fenske, how many have defaulted or fallen apart on you guys?
None have fallen apart.
Yeah. Some of them-
There's been a couple we've had to go to deal with the collection of some of the pilots, but all of the companies are still in existence and all have come forward. The only one that obviously we worked with was Lufkin when they left. But they left.
And a couple of the deals, to be perfectly transparent, we've had to restructure because the people financially were not able to meet the demands of the pilot even as it was. But that's all ongoing. And
Yeah, the Lufkin G was probably the worst one because they left.
Right,
But you can't stop a company from leaving.
right. You have somebody in the back there?
Yes, sorry. Yes,
My name's Orton Dodson. He has a 5-year tax exemption on this, correct?
that's for property taxes.
Property
Yes, sir.
All right, he has 5 years to make a go of it, correct?
Correct. That's why we do that, yes.
Okay, now here's my question to you. If in that 5 years, it does start to take off and do well, he chooses to sell that, where are we at that point?
The benefits are not automatically transferable, if that's what you're asking.
That's kind of what I'm asking, but.
They can be transferred, that we
Negotiate for someone that would buy it?
we can get into that,
So,
but typically they're not transferable. We've not transferred one, but we can. But we'd have to look into why we would be transferring, yes.
But here's my question. If he chooses to sell it in that 5 years, he can do that, correct?
Yeah, you can always sell, yeah.
All right, now if someone else takes over, are they going to be offered the same 5-year exemption on taxes?
You mean, does it start over? I've
Yes.
never seen that happen.
It's not typical to start over, but I'm not saying it couldn't. I got to be honest with
There's
you.
a possibility.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Yeah, I
But
don't.
we have the ability to offer them a
It
new
would
exemption.
be zero revenue for the town 5+ years if it went that way.
There's always a possibility.
The tax.
There's always a possibility. I can't tell you not, but it's not usual. Yes.
All right, that was just a question I wanted
Sure.
to ask.
Well, I believe you have to give kind of responding back, so you did say that the sales tax exemption was only for buying things, right?
When he's
If we were
actually,
selling things, we would get that.
yeah, it's only it's actually only when he's building something.
Right, and I want to actually clarify that, Glenn. It ends when the renovation is complete and the lines start. We do not continue to offer sales tax exemption on things like inventory and supplies and things.
It's only for
It's
capital.
only for that capital investment when he starts the business, just to be clear, that ends as soon as that period is done.
But if it were to be sold, the
It's over,
sales tax on that sale would still come back to the county.
Right.
correct. It's really very specifically just for the restoration of the building in this case.
Yes.
Casey Jones, is the financing fully in place for the project?
Financing will be privately done. They are only offering the incentives, that's it,
No, I
nothing
understand,
more.
I
The
understand.
rest of the thing is on us. We have to run the project, we have to run the business. They are going just a little bit of the incentive, that's it.
No, I understand that.
Exemption and credit, that's all.
I think his specific question is whether you have, and I think the answer, I can give you the answer, Casey, hi, it's Sally, is that right now he's working with the banks to finance the project, so it's not complete.
Yes.
Yes, so that's where we're at right now.
Okay, so that's still up in the air.
Yes.
Okay, and the other question is, who do you have, customers in place for the product that you're going to produce?
We have the distributors in different states. And we sell to the distributors, and the distributor they sell to the grocery stores and they recover their money from them. I collect from the distributor.
I guess Casey's question really is more, is your network still in
Yes,
place
yes.
from Canada, right?
In other words, in Canada, you had some distribution.
Canada was only 10 to 15%. The rest of always exporting to US. And major customers are in US, not in Canada.
Okay, so when you were operating in Canada, 85% of your business was in the
Exports
United
to
States.
US, yes.
Years in the United States.
Correct.
And how many, and you had in several states, you said?
How many states did you?
In Michigan, in Detroit and Michigan, other areas in some distribution. And then we have in Washington DC, we have one in Texas, one in Dallas and one in Houston. And we have in New York, and that two distributors in New York City, there is market here. And we were working more, but we did not have the capacity supply to them. So we are just holding, and we were running accordingly because we were running behind 14 days production behind. So here we are going to have more capacity of the products and production capacity of the more equipment which can produce more fast.
And is your product considered a specialty product?
In the beginning, we were a specialty, but now we are in the mainstream also. So, both together.
You know, your competitors, are they like Bimbo and others like that?
We have the distributors were selling to the stores and the local grocery stores. So.
No, I think he's asking, who are your main competitors? Do you know in the US, like, who are your main production?
All the food products are everybody's competitors.
A lot of food in that market, sweets.
Unless there's any other questions on a financial assistance or something specific, we'll close with this one if it's okay.
Melody Ryan, I just want to make sure that I'm clear on this.
Sure.
When does the clock actually start for the exemptions?
Pardon me?
When does the clock start, the 5 years?
When we pass when we close we call it closing the project, which basically there's some lawyer things happens once the board approves the project. So it'd probably be in a month or two. Depends because we rely on lawyers.
Yeah. So tomorrow we have a board meeting, and in that board meeting, we will present the project approval based on this public hearing in the last piece of that puzzle, right, Fred?
Yeah.
And then if the board approves the project for assistance, then it will go. And is the process like.
Quick comment.
Oh, sure.
Since you're so close, would you be willing to supply the school cafeteria with your products?
You want to know if you could sell anything close?
Give them bread and cookies and stuff to the cafeteria.
Can you sell it to the school cafeteria?
Not sell.
Oh, donate, that's what you're asking, you can donate to the school.
I think we're well past the discussions.
It's on the record.
Javed wants to be a good neighbor, he did say, go on record as saying
Okay.
that, so.
I think you'll work with the school system. Are there any other questions regarding the fiscal assistance? We appreciate everyone coming and the actual questions, and if there are, we'll make sure the town board does know what's going on, so the phases, so we can keep them informed. Other than that, at 7, I gotta look at because your clock is wrong. It says 7:09, right?
That's
At
right.
7:09, we'll close the public hearing. And if you want to still talk afterwards, you're more than welcome to. We'll close the public hearing, okay? Thank you for coming, I appreciate it.
Thank you all very much.